Me in particular?
Yes.
Bridgetti, the floor is yours about everything that you're doing in relation to
Yes.
South Africa.
Okay. So there's a lot of social initiatives that I'm particularly passionate about. And right now, the most overriding one that I think most people have heard about is the water crisis that we've got. The Western Cape, Cape Town's got 4 million people. And so it's a crisis because there's no other city in the world this size that's ever run out of water. Our dams are incredibly low, and we need to find a way to get water to 4 million people.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
a huge task. It's not something we can do by ourselves. We need assistance from outside. And so I'm live streaming to create awareness about the water crisis, because somehow it's not getting into mainstream media. Hi, Anne Marie. So I'm taking every opportunity I can find to talk about the water crisis. I want to do some fundraising. We can get water from other
Mm-hmm.
parts of the country, which is
Mm-hmm.
about a 2-hour flight from Cape Town. But that's going to take a considerable amount of funding, which we don't have. So here's what I'm proposing. I have found a way to do fundraising. And in order to do that, I need to find well-known people, celebrities, or businesses even,
Mm-hmm.
who are passionate about um, social conditions like the water crisis, and then use that to raise funds. Very little is required of the business or the celebrity. All that they would need to do is to make a video to say that they support this initiative,
Mm-hmm.
and then share that with their following. Um, there are different things. You know, people, for example, would throw money at the opportunity to have a celebrity record their voicemail, you
Mm-hmm.
know, something like that, or have lunch with a celebrity, or to go to a well-known company like Google or Facebook and
Yeah.
tour their premises. You know, so for example, you would donate $10 or more for the opportunity to go and visit Google or Facebook
Mm-hmm.
or Elon Musk, or Gary Vaynerchuk or any of those
So,
people.
so this is South
Um,
Africa, and it's and
it's
in this day and
South
age,
Africa.
it doesn't have enough water.
Correct, because we've had over a long period of time we've not had enough rain.
Right.
You know, it's global warming and all kinds of other factors that have contributed to it. We're at the point now where it's become so desperate that there's really no point in trying to rehash why we got here and how we got here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not that we're going to reach the crisis. We've already have the crisis. Now we need to find a way to manage it and to get water to everyone. We've already got towns that have completely run out of water.
Did you
You
know
know,
that
and
in Did you know that in Britain we've got water coolers, right, that go around commercially, uh, and it's UK Aid or something, UK Water Aid or something like that, and their purpose is to go and put these bottled waters upside down. Or you take some water, and the profit from that goes to Water Aid. Have you heard of that?
no, we don't have a system like that here, but I would keen to learn more about
But
it.
so I think it's called UK Water Aid. Not like you've got commercial people going and put bottles of water upside down big tanks, and you take a cup of water at the cooler station. But they've got one that actually basically the money is the money that they take goes into, it's non-profit, and the money goes to give lands or countries that are struggling with water.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, but
Yes,
they tend to be third world countries, and we
right,
think of South Africa as first world. In fact,
right.
it is first
It's
world. It's
not
developing.
though. It is a third world country.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Um,
Is
Many
it
people think South Africa is a first world, but it's not.
your government maybe doesn't like people to know that's going on?
Yeah, it's a big problem. And you know, people don't give a second thought um to ways in which we interact with water
Mm-hmm.
unless they run out of water. You know, if you don't have water, you can't brush your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you don't have water, you can't have a cup of coffee. You can't
Yeah.
bathe yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you can't cook. You
Coffee.
have issues with sanitation and sewage. It's a
Yes.
huge problem.
So what we're saying here
Uh,
then is use this to promote the water crisis.
Well, I've been listening to Bridgetti promote the cause,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, as I understand it, and Bridgetti might correct me in a minute, but there is water in the north of South Africa, which can be transported to Cape Town,
Right.
and that's why the funds need raising to actually get the transportation to move the water. Is that fair?
that is correct. Yes, we've got an area in Cape Town where the dams are actually overflowing. It's a 2 hour
Mm.
flight 2 hour flight away from us. So that's about 20 hours via road.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to truck that water down is going to cost a considerable amount of money. So that is what we're raising funds for. It's a
Mm.
citizen driven initiative to get water to Cape Town from other provinces.
And what's the government do to help?
Well, the government has got the local government has got a plan to distribute water at 200 points throughout the Western Cape, which, in my opinion and other people's opinions, is too little distribution points.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, you would work on the assumption that every single person has got transport to get there, which
Yeah.
is not
Yeah.
the case. The other issue I've raised with them a couple of times, for which they don't have a solution or an answer at this point in time, is what about the elderly? What about the sick? What about the
Mm-hmm.
infirm? What about those with invisible diseases? There's no plan for those people. The elderly, you know, and the sick make up a huge component of our society,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't simply not have a plan for those people.
Well, there you go.
Um, so there is an organization called Water Shortage SA, Water Shortage South Africa. They have in the past, the strange thing is that a couple of years ago, the situation was reversed. We had water in Cape Town, and this area where we want to get water from now didn't have any.
Mm-hmm.
And we were transporting water from Cape Town to Johannesburg. But now there's a huger proportion of the community at stake. It's 4 million people.
Mm. Wow.
And it's not just our livelihoods that it's at stake, it's the economy that's at stake. You know, we've got our tourism. We are one of the most sought after film destinations in the world. And the reason for that is because we generally have good weather.
Yeah.
We only had about 3 months in winter when it wasn't a good tourist destination, but because of our low rainfall over the last
Mm-hmm.
couple of years, it's become an international film destination all year round.
Mm-hmm.
So there's many reasons why we need to save our economy in Cape Town.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
That's my one pet project. And then the other one is a project that I want to raise awareness for, is a 12-year-old boy who's got a very, very rare cancer called Gorlin-Galtz syndrome.
Right.
And what this causes is this little boy gets tumors in his mouth. And he's now at the point where he is going to be losing his jaw.
Mm.
And the only doctors that can help him is in the US. But the family's already run out of funds, medical funds for anything, because they've spent all they had on his medical care.
Yeah.
So I'm wanting to find a way to help them raise funds so we can get him and his mom to the US so that he can get assistance.
Okay. So you're not using this commercially then?
No,
Okay.
no, not
Yeah.
at all. Not at all. My story is basically, Peter, all my life I have always had a passion for helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I have a chronic illness myself. I have
Yeah.
fibromyalgia and I have back pain, and I think I told you about that
Yeah. Yeah.
a week or two ago when we had a conversation. And because of my own condition, I basically have become housebound for the last 2 years. So I don't really leave home. I have a studio at home now.
Right.
And live streaming has now given me the opportunity to do what I love most, and that's helping people.
Well, that's good.
I can now use the live streaming as a platform to do good. I can't do events and things in person any longer because of my own illness, but live streaming now gives me that opportunity to a worldwide platform. In fact, I actually think it's better.
That's good. Well,
You know,
that's good use of it. Very good.
Indeed.
yes, I'm very excited to see where this can go. Um, I've never done fundraising before. That's completely new to me. But because these are two issues that are very close to my heart, I'm willing to go out on a limb and extend myself and try and find out more about fundraising, reach out to people who can assist us. So so that's basically my mission. Thanks, Anne-Marie.
Well, there you go. So I would, if it was me now, I would go and find this UK WaterAid thing. It's a franchise actually, and just did you know that there's a crisis in South Africa? I bet you didn't. You just never know what might come of it. Huh?
It's true, people don't know about it because it's not going out there on traditional media.
No, no,
Indeed.
certainly I never.
And Patricia's got a question, which I've been holding whilst you've been chatting, and that's, are there any long-term solutions, Bridgetti?
Long-term solutions, yes, desalination is one of our solutions, but to build a huge plant takes, I think, on average, it's about 2 years to get it constructed. We don't have 2 years. We currently looking at running out of water sometime at the end of, as soon as the end of March, possibly
Wow,
even sooner.
wow.
So we really just don't have enough time. There's currently 7 projects to augment our water. Some of them are drilling into the aquifers and various desalination plants. But currently they're all running behind schedule. They're roughly between, I think, 35 and 50% at this point. So I'm a little bit concerned, or should I say very concerned, that we are so far behind on these projects. The city is telling us that, they'll have water in time for us, but I'm not convinced. And I'm not going to sit back and wait for something to happen if I'm not sure that there is a definite plan. I'd rather try and do something before we actually run out.
Do you pay for your water in South Africa?
I beg your pardon?
Have you to pay for
Yes, we
your
do.
water? Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Right, a point from Anne-Marie, and I echo this, is there anything the layperson, and I think we're talking personally here, is there anything that we can do to help, Bridgetti?
Well, I am looking for assistance to raise funds. So right now I'm wanting to reach out to anyone who's well known that we could reach out to help us raise funds. That's
So,
basically my big ask at the moment. you know, if you connected to anyone who's well known, that you could help me reach out to, that would be a great help.
Do you have funds for paying people to help you as such, celebrities and things? Have you any funds to pay them?
You know what? I've approached an organization called Charity Buzz and Prizio, and basically what they will run everything. They will collect the funds. They will deal with flying out the person to get their prize. For example, if the person's going to have as a prize have lunch with Gary Vaynerchuk, they will fly the person there and organize it.